Good day. Today I'm interviewing CUAN ELGIN from the Freedom Front Plus, who's standing in a number of wards for the Overstrand municipality. Welcome, CUAN.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, as well as your party, and what you represent?
Sure. We've been resident in Hermanus for 17 years, on and off, and we've seen how the town has grown from a quiet village to a very busy, big and busy town. And in the last 5 years, it has changed immeasurably, and not all to the good. So this municipal election is important in the sense that people have a choice. They can have another 5 years of the same, or they can get fresh ideas and a fresh vision. That's what we offer. In terms of my background, it's safety and security, environmental education, tourism development, and I'm also an author. And I've seen that the ratepayers of this town have been basically ignored when it comes to making decisions and in allowing certain things to happen in this town where they have no say. And they end up in a lose-lose situation where you get squatters by the thousand, and I mean by the thousand, being allowed to illegally occupy land right next to suburbs, established suburbs. So the rates have gone up exponentially to sponsor the extra services required for these non-contributing new residents, and yet the property prices have been negatively affected of the suburbs next to them. So that's your lose-lose situation. Rates go up, property prices going down. Hermanus is a wonderful town, and it had a magnificent reputation worldwide as a tourism destination and as an investment destination for people wanting to retire. And as it's said, investment money is like dollar notes circling the globe looking for a safe place to land. And I can assure you that unfortunately, if you took a drive through basically the center of Hermanus now, where we have thousands of shacks which have been allowed to be built there in the last couple of years, you would think twice about investing. So we've got a problem. And as the Freedom Front Plus, we are saying we will stand up for the ratepayer. That's our first priority. Those who pay the piper call the tune. Social engineering is not our first priority. In fact, it's our last priority. People vote with their feet. Freedom of association is sacrosanct. And to try and manipulate matters to put low-cost housing in amongst upmarket suburbs is a lose-lose situation. We're going to stop that in our tracks, but to do that, we need to get onto the council. We need votes, and we're a fresh, forward-thinking party, a pragmatic party, a solutions-driven party, and the current administration in this town has had basically carte blanche for the last 5 years. We want to act as checks and balances and as watchdogs to make sure that our ratepayers get value for money and that their interests come first.
Now, how would you consider doing things differently than the party that's already in control?
Well, that's a good question. We believe that our Christian fundamental moral attitude to life is a good grounding and a good anchor. So we would be we hope, and not being arrogant about it at all, but there needs to be a moral compass in this town, and we believe we can provide that. Where the rule of law prevails, there's only 10 commandments. They're not that difficult to keep. And things like thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's goods. We've got parties in this town who base their entire outlook on racial stress and disharmony, and who talk about eat the rich, these horrible racist slogans, and they're implying, of course, that the majority of the residents, who happen to be white people or brown people, are the rich somehow, and that they're supposed to feel bad about that. My attitude, and I'm sure most people's attitude, sensible people, is that if somebody is rich, I want to learn from them. I want to find out how they got there, what skills they used, and what opportunities they took to get there, rather than just try and destroy them and pull them down. We live on a quite a nice estate in this town, and even in this estate, you've got millionaires row at the top and ordinary people row at the bottom. The people at the bottom drive Toyotas, and the people at the top drive Jaguars and Porsches. So when we talk about equality, I think that's a Marxist myth. And people will rise up to what they're capable of, and those who can't, don't. At the same time, we have to have compassion. It's not a crime to be poor. We have to find a way to pull the people who are at their wits' end because there is not enough work here and are living in shacks, pull them into the economy. And we can only do that if we have investment. If people are leaving the town and taking their money away, it's just going to go downhill. So we need to encourage people to come into this town, invest money here, open industries, light industries. We don't want heavy industry here, obviously. We've got to have opportunities. And one of the things which we will definitely call for as soon as we get a seat on the council is free Wi-Fi throughout the town. Perhaps only during working hours, because that's when you need it, where people can put themselves forward, put their products on the market, their services on the market. So even people who don't have capital to invest in an entrepreneurial enterprise have that opportunity. So we would definitely suggest that or call for that and look for corporate sponsors. The infrastructure is in place. All we really need is a corporate sponsor. So we look to the municipality to seek corporate sponsors. We have a number of other ideas, a rates-free zone where people can open up small businesses and crafts and light industry, and at least for the first year, say, not have rates. The municipality would not lose out too much because they would still be getting electricity and these people would be supplying jobs and everybody pays their way. So opportunity is what we want to give people, that those who've got what it takes to make it in life get that opportunity, and that bureaucracy and red tape which this town's infamous for is taken out of the way so that people are not discouraged from opening businesses. They're encouraged and it's made easier. That would help a lot. There's talk of a techno park, there's talk of a technical college. Where that will be is still under discussion because where it's currently planned, the people are not too happy. It's a residential area and they don't want 1,400 students as is planned. So we've got to look at all those things. So we would take a pragmatic approach to these issues. And number one, as I said right in the beginning, and I'd like to finish with that, unless you have other questions, is that our ratepayers come first. And we will be there to protect their hard-earned money and make sure it's spent on projects which benefit them.
Well, thank you very much. I think that covers basically most of what we need to know, and gives us a good reason why we should vote for the Freedom Front Plus, and that it will offer us a hope for a better future. Thank you, Kieran.
Thank you very much.